Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Avonlea, nestled amongst rolling hills and verdant meadows, there lived a maiden as fair as the dawn. Her name was Evelyn, with locks like the raven's wing and eyes as deep in blue as the midsummer sky. Evelyn had a heart full of dreams and a soul that yearned for an adventure as grand as the love stories her grandmother used to whisper to her by the fireside. Not far from the humble cottage that Evelyn called home resided a young and diligent blacksmith. Oliver was his name, and his hands, though worn by the forge's fire, were adept at crafting the finest wares. His strength was known throughout the lands, but little did they know of the gentle heart that lay shielded behind the walls of muscle and brawn. It was on a fateful morning in early spring when Evelyn's path crossed with Oliver's. In search of a new plow for her father's fields, she ventured into the heart of the village, where the rhythmic clangs of Oliver's hammer upon the anvil led her to his smithy. Their eyes met over a spray of orange sparks, and in that instant a silent understanding passed between them, as if their souls whispered secrets only they could comprehend. "Good morrow, fair maiden," greeted Oliver, his voice a rich timbre that carried over the clamor of his toil. "How may I be of service to you on this fine day?" "Good morrow, sir," replied Evelyn, the corners of her lips curving into a bashful smile. "I am in need of a plow, one that will turn the earth with ease for my father's estate." "Then you shall have it," Oliver said with a knowing nod. "Return on the morrow, and it shall be ready for you. For the daughter of our esteemed village elder, only the best will suffice." Evelyn nodded, her heart fluttering like a caged bird. There was something about Oliver that drew her like a moth to a flame. She returned to her home, her thoughts occupied with the blacksmith's kind eyes and steady hands. As promised, upon the morrow, Evelyn returned to the smithy. Oliver presented her with a plow of exquisite craftsmanship. It was both sturdy and elegant, much like the blacksmith himself. "Your work is extraordinary," Evelyn admired, her fingers tracing the ornate patterns on the plow's blade. Oliver beamed with pride. "It was my pleasure. May it serve your family well." From that day forth, Evelyn found reasons to visit the smithy, each crafted with careful thought, and Oliver, whose days were once filled solely with the company of iron and coal, found himself anticipating her visits with a heart that beat like the thunderous cadence of his hammer. The seasons changed, coloring the land with the palette of time. Evelyn and Oliver grew to know each other, not just as the maiden and the blacksmith, but as two kindred spirits wandering the paths of destiny. They spoke of their dreams and fears under the shelter of the old willow by the river that whispered its secret stories to any who would listen. One such evening, as the first stars appeared like tiny pinpricks against the twilight canvas, Oliver took Evelyn's hands in his own, the calluses of his labor meeting the softness of her touch. "Evelyn," he began, his voice betraying a rare tremor of nerves, "I can no longer deny the flame your presence has ignited within my soul. I have found in you the companion of my heart's deepest longing." Evelyn's breath caught at his confession. Her dreams, ever fixed on distant horizons, had shifted to rest upon the man before her. "Oliver," she sighed, her voice as soft as the river's murmur, "you have become my dearest friend, the one whose thoughts accompany me even in solitude. To imagine a future without you is like envisioning the night sky devoid of stars." Emboldened by her words, Oliver reached into the folds of his leather apron and retrieved a small velvet pouch. From within, he extracted a ring, forged by his own hand, the metal warm from the heat of his own skin. It was simple yet enchanting, a circlet of intertwined patterns that spoke of endurance and unity. "Evelyn, will you take this ring as a promise? A promise that, though I may not offer you the world in riches, I gift you the entirety of my being, my loyalty, my protection, and my unconditional love." Tears glistened in Evelyn's eyes, their luminescent joy rivaled only by the shimmering ring. She nodded, her voice a whisper that soared louder than any declaration. "Yes, Oliver, yes, I will." And so, under the boughs of the whispering willow, two souls bound themselves to each other, not just for a moment, but for all the days of their lives. In time, The tale of Evelyn and Oliver became one for the storybooks, a tale of love that blossomed in the heart of a village, a reminder that even the most mundane of days could give birth to the most extraordinary of loves. And thus, as the years unfurled like the petals of an ever-blooming rose, their love story endured, a testament to the enduring power of two hearts joined as one. So let it be known, in the village of Avonlea, love found its way, not through grand gestures or fabled quests, but in the simple intertwining of two destined hearts. And they lived, not just happily ever after, but truly, deeply, irrevocably in love.